The UNC system governing body has approved a tuition hike for undergraduate students across its 16 public state universities, and that means that incoming East Carolina University students will pay more to go to school.
Chris Cook is live on campus after getting feedback from incoming students, parents, and ECU's student body president. So Chris, how did they take the news of the increasing costs?
Dave, Courtney, I got mixed reactions from the parents I spoke to. One of them said this is really concerning, but another one said ECU still has some of the best tuition they've seen. After almost a decade, it will soon cost more for future students to attend East Carolina University. The UNC system governors approved the 3% increase for both in-state and out-of-state undergraduate students Thursday. ECU student body president Daniel Walker says the money will be put to good use.
That is going to go directly into professional advising, which is a really big need on our campus.
WITN reported back in November that ECU trustees approved the tuition hike and sent it off for a vote by the governing board. Now incoming in-state undergraduates will pay $133 more than current students per year. Incoming out-of-state students will pay $622 more per year. Heather Kavanaugh's child is an incoming in-state ECU freshman. She said the price hike is concerning.
He is also planning on going to med school, so any rate hike is a concern to be able to extend those financial burdens on us in planning that we've already done for him.
On the contrary, Julian Mitchell is the mother of another incoming ECU freshman. While they will be facing increased out-of-state costs, she's not too worried about it.
And we're here because the tuition is more affordable. So I think a one-time hike wouldn't be necessarily concerning.
Mitchell said the fact that the money is going towards advising is a great thing. Walker agrees that tuition at ECU is comparatively good.
One of the main pieces, obviously, in the UNC system is they want to keep in-state students as affordable as possible. I would still say that our out-of-state is very comparable and a really great rate.
And this is the first time in-state students in North Carolina will have to pay more in 9 years since 2017. Live in Greenville, Chris Cook, WITN News.
All right, thank you, Chris. Now, in-state tuition at ECU will now be $4,585 per semester. Non-resident tuition will now be $20,351 per semester.